Hey guys, and welcome back. This is Lindsay, and here we are with my September plan with me. I know that I was on a good roll with my videos, but lately I've been kind of struggling to get this out just because of a ton of reasons, and one of them is being that I have been super busy. I had things come up and I am actually recovering from an injury. I'm totally okay, nothing crazy, but yeah, it's been like a very slow work in progress, and it's a shame because I've had this theme in my brain for so long that I actually already had it pretty much sketched out and ready to go. It's just, life takes you somewhere. But if you're wondering what theme this is, because I don't think it's a very outright type of thing to guess, I was trying to actually get some inspiration from Pinterest. That's usually where I get all my theme inspirations. And I was actually interested in doing like an adventures theme, almost like a Bridge to Terabithia type of inspiration, but then it just started to look too, I don't know, almost like an RPG type of style, which I'm not totally against, but it wasn't my intention at first. So I was scrolling and then eventually I ended up on something and I liked the aesthetic, so I'm gonna call it what I kind of see it as. And I actually started to draw more of like an adventurers, sailors, pirate type of navigational theme. And I really wanted to stick with more of the organic colors of browns, beige, and greens because I wanted to still go back to my roots of utilizing white space. And guys, I really like this one. Like this one, I'm in love. Just looking at it makes my heart so warm, and it's something I usually would not have done. I do like to make sure my color palettes are in a line, meaning they match each other, but I actually did some pops of colors with colors that wouldn't usually work together. I don't know if that even makes sense. I ended up doing a lot of like the neutral palettes, but I ended up doing like a pop of like this reddish orangey color and then black. Now, I'll be honest, lately I've been very bold. I've been going straight into the black color, and it's weird because honestly for me, I get really nervous using the color black just because if you mess up, it's over. It's like it's hard to come back from it. And I try to avoid it as much as I possibly can. I will be super honest. I even was like not using my black micro Pigma pens anymore. I was doing the sepia color just because I didn't want to deal with the harshness of what black can do. So it's very interesting that I ended up going straight to black, and now I'm kind of obsessed to where it's accented. I'm using my black pens again. I'm actually using my rubber stamps again. Like, it's a lot of stationery that I kind of left collecting dust ultimately and bringing them out to see another light of day. I'm glad at where this had kind of turned out. Just like April, when it comes to September, I never know what I want to do. It's one of those weird months that you head from summer into fall, so that kind of gives you like this very weird gray spectrum. And I kind of, just as odd as it sounds, I associate September with neutrals. Maybe it's just me, but when I think of September, I think of going back to school, going back to your career, or just going back to getting your goals done. And maybe it's just me. I know like different places start school at different points of the year, but I know for me growing up, it was always September. So I always associate with September as, all right, we need to get back on our stuff. Like, we need to get things done. So that's where my mind goes. And I feel like as I've been doing my monthly themes, I've been going more and more minimal, maybe because I am kind of not burnt out, but tired of my aesthetic. And it's weird to say because I low-key don't think I have an aesthetic. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just feel like I don't. I really struggle with finding a aesthetic identity. I kind of just curate my themes based on what I do like or what I'm in the mood for. But there's certain things that I do go back to, which I do enjoy. But if you were to ask me what my aesthetic is, I honestly can't tell you because I don't even know that answer. So I've just been kind of doing whatever comes naturally, and I've been really, really loving the process. Before, I'll be honest, when it came to my themes, I felt like I had to be a little bit more extra with certain things, a little bit more colorful, or just do something because it's the time of year. But I mean, those things didn't really make me happy, and some themes I actually didn't like. I would be honest, I think I disliked them. I won't say hate because hate's a very strong word, but I wasn't over the moon. And so I've been kind of living by this like carefree rule right now where I'm just kind of going with the flow. And I feel like this shows perfectly in this monthly layout because I feel like my theme, even though it does make sense, is kind of a little bit all over the place. There isn't a whole lot of consistency. It's more of just making it make sense. So I kind of stuck to a very concrete like color palette, but I still kept bringing back elements that made the theme make sense. So I did a lot of like books, papers, pens, parcels, even like coffee. And I tried really hard to stay away from the coffee theme because I felt like I kind of already achieved that with my last year's September theme, but I wanted to kind of still play with neutrals. I don't know. If someone was asking me what my favorite color is, I would literally be like neutral. Even my clothes in my real life is either neutral or black. As you can see, like my shirt is black. It's easy to kind of change pieces, and I feel like they're a little bit more on the timeless aspect of it all. So I kind of like to make my themes based on my color palettes. It's weird, but you know, it's my bullet journal, so it should kind of make sense in that regard. But yeah, this theme, it was very weird. I actually was thinking about this when I was on vacation in July because I knew I wanted to do something super doodly, but I wanted to stay away from doing the collage again because I love junk journaling, but I don't want to overdo it. It's like when you hear that one song on the radio and you love it, but then it becomes overplayed and you kind of get sick of it. Like you try to avoid it like a bad habit. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. I didn't intend to go on a ramble like that, but you know, I did. It's Lindsay. But on a side note, I kind of kept my habit tracker super simple this time just because I'll be honest, September and October, I'm gonna be like freaking busy. It's gonna be ridiculous. So I really wanted to keep it short and sweet. But also because lately I feel like I've been struggling with having a habit tracker. Like sometimes I find myself so busy that I can't even upkeep with it. The only thing I pretty much keep up with, I really have to think, it's my plants, because now I have a little bit more than I intended when I first started my plants journey. Oh god, here we go. Side story, guys. So March 2020, that's when like the world kind of shut down. I got really bored at home, so I decided to get a plant, and it was just something to keep me company. Mind you, I have a dog, and I actually have 2 dogs and a cat, but having a plant is a little different. So I ended up taking care of it, you know, seeing if I have a green thumb, I can keep something alive. And now fast forward to like 2 years into the future, or present, however you want to call it, I have actually like 5 plants, almost 6. It's weird. One of them is like propagating, and I'm like low-key anxious because I'm like, oh no, I can't deal with any more plants. But that's the only habit I really keep up with, because I would feel super guilty if anything happened to my plants. It's a lot, and a part of me now feels like I need to stop, but a part of me is like, girl, just keep going, get some new plants. However, I don't know how it went from 1 to almost 6 plants in like less than 2 years. It's I don't know. I can't even find the words to describe my madness, but honestly, that's the only habit tracker I keep track of. So I'm thinking maybe next month I might get rid of the habit tracker, but doing more of like a rolling task list. I've heard of it, I've seen it, I've never done it myself because I could never really wrap my head around it. But yeah, we'll just see how this month goes and kind of see if it might change how I plan for October. Okay guys, so I am bringing it back. I'm bringing back the Dutch doors. Oh my gosh. So I'll be honest, as of right now, I haven't really done any other weekly spreads for my August section of my bullet journal, and it's just because I've been so busy, and with me unexpectedly getting hurt, that I can't keep up with it. I really didn't want to fall into that again, so I was like, you know, screw it, let's just do a Dutch door. And lately I've been seeing people do like the little tabby things. I wanted to try it, and I was determined to do it, but you know, me being me, it never turns out that way. I was in the midst of cutting the tabs, and then my boyfriend just like walked in with his family dog and scared me to the point I accidentally cut off a tab. So I eventually tried to do the tab thing with washi tape. I don't know if it was a saving grace or if it was a failure, but I don't know how I feel about it, just because it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but aesthetically wise it's very cute, so I guess I'll kind of leave it there for that. But yeah, I wanted to do a little bit more of a Dutch door spread with bringing those doodles back in again. I really wanted it to tie in with the cover page, just because I feel like with this type of theme, since it's mostly being held up by the actual doodles itself, I kind of need to bring them back again to make my theme make sense. Let's just say it as it is. So I did a little bit of the doodles. I did more of like a sprawled out maybe desk or kitchen top thing between books, papers, maps, a magnifying glass, all that good stuff. I try to keep it very easy, very identifiable with shapes. So I really just kind of doodled. I really relied a lot more on shadowing in the markers, just because I didn't want to introduce any new colors. I wanted to still keep it within the color palette I had going on. So I kind of went one by one with the doodles just because I wanted to know where I was going to place color. I feel like that's very strategic with these types of themes because you don't want to over utilize a certain color in one area and make another color too sparse. So I kind of went back and forth just to add little pops here and there, but primarily my color scheme was more on the neutral side. I did use black. Black was a really good refresher throughout this whole setup. It's like, you know when you smell a lot of candles, maybe at like Bath and Body Works, and you need something to kind of neutralize your smelling palette, you'll smell coffee beans. That's the same idea as what black does for this theme specifically. It kind of refreshes the palette because I just feel like you can really get lost with all the colors really fast just because of the lack of colors there are. So I did rely also on materials to give it a little bit more of a 3D pop. So some of the washi tape I was using actually acted more as like newspaper prints, and I went ahead and wrote like little fake scripts just to make it look more of a almost like a light academia feel. But I would say if you are attempting to do this type of theme, I really recommend you have an X-Acto knife, because again, I was meaning to buy one and I ended up getting so lazy I forgot about it and I never got one. So throughout this whole video you see me struggle with trying to make the washi tape look cute, and there's only so much that my scissors can do, but I really do recommend having an X-Acto knife. Some of the areas that I struggled with actually went over with other washi tape or stickers just so it looks very intentional, but it fills up the space. At this point, there was something about my layout that I actually didn't like, and I realized it was my very ugly calendar header. So I went ahead and covered it up, and I wanted it to still tie in with my cover page, so I ended up doing like little borders around the doodles, and I pretty much wanted to bring back the typewriter font. So I ended up using my rubber stamps just because even though there is a good bit of color going on, I just felt like it wasn't a lot of color for me to just splash even more. So again, I kind of utilize my black ink as my neutralizer, and my god, this really made it look so much better. I ended up really loving it at the end of it. And here's a final flip through. If you guys made it to this part of the video and bypassed my rambling, you're freaking awesome. And I just want to say hi to the new friends that subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to me, and I'm still trying to process it all, but I just want to let you guys know that I'm super grateful, and I can't wait to see where this community of art lovers will go. And I'm just looking forward to my next project. But until next time, you guys, bye.